Good morning, and thank you for joining me today for Coffee with Bill. And my guest here is Rich Fogerson.
Dude, I am so excited to be on the premiere of the Coffee with Bill.
Hey,
First guest.
And I want this to be just kind of a natural thing. We're going to be talking about current events, maybe some local events. We'll add in some things you didn't know this day in history. So if we're going to talk about news, I think we need to have a little bit of news noise.
News noise?
News noise, and here we go. All right. So, Ridge, can you guess what happened this day in history?
Let's see. Today's the something. Yeah, I have no idea.
You have no idea?
Not a clue.
Okay. This day in history, U.S. Congress passed the 13th Amendment. On this day, abolishing slavery and sent it to the states to be ratified. Something you didn't know, did you?
You learn something every day, I guess.
So what do you think about this newsroom noise? It's kind of annoying, isn't it?
It's terrible, you know.
So this is bugging me.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Can we turn it off?
Can you please, for the love of God, turn it off?
Thank you. All right. So we got that off, and things you didn't know. That noise that you heard is Morse code. It was invented in 1830s by Samuel F.B. Morse, and it was improved throughout the years. And it kind of evolved into telegraph. And if you ever watched old movies, you would hear these little ticking sounds and maybe this little Morse code, and that's how they brought it in. Every little short sound and quick sound represented a letter. And that's what come across. And I just couldn't imagine trying to learn that.
I have a hard enough time with English. I can't imagine doing that, you know?
So today, let's go ahead and just kind of get to the real news that's going on today.
Okay.
Things that people don't know that's going on. North Korea tested its fifth missile this month. Iran-backed militias attacked U.S. base in UAE. U.S. naval fleet keeps China in check over Taiwan, and Russia President Vladimir Putin threatens to invade Ukraine. Now, these are things that are going on today. And I asked you last night during Connect Group, did you know these things were going on?
I had absolutely no clue. I had no idea what was happening, and then you told me about it, and then I went home that night, got on Facebook or TikTok or something, and people were talking about it. I had no clue until you brought it up, and it's weird, you know, phones always listen to us, that's what pops up on my news feed after you talked to me about it.
So are you considered a millennial?
No, I'm like Gen Z or X or something like that.
Either one.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a difference. I've noticed that even some people my age, I don't know if I'm not a baby boomer. I don't know what you call it. Am I a baby boomer? I'm 50.
You probably are a baby boomer. I think my dad's a baby boomer, just by a couple of years, though.
Okay. Well, I've noticed that a lot of people don't look at the news. Why do you think that is?
Dude, I'm going to be honest. I don't look at the news that often, and it's not right, but I think at the end of the day, I honestly don't care. And I mean, it's bad to say it, but I'm being honest.
Okay, and that's great, but these are things that might affect us in the United States somehow, and that's one of the reasons why I guess I'm a news junkie, and so I look at these things. We're going to be showing on this segment a picture of Ukraine being surrounded by U.S. troops, and so you'll see that picture now, and then we're going to show a picture of a 52-year-old mother with a sniper rifle. This is a woman who's living in times of uncertainty. I mean, can you imagine your whole country being surrounded, and you've got mothers preparing for war, you've got computer techs, school teachers, all this. Can you imagine what they're going through?
It's got to be hard. It's got to be rough, for sure. I mean, if you got a older woman clinging to a sniper rifle, you know it's got to be kind of rough.
It's got to be bad.
Yeah.
So this kind of reminds me of the story of Jesus, and where he's on the boat with the disciples, and a raging storm is coming. And so you've got all these disciples just going frantic and afraid. Can you imagine what they were going through? It's a time of uncertainty.
Yeah.
So I want to go ahead and look at Mark 4:35 through 41, and let's just take a look at what Scripture says, and we'll discuss it. On that day, When evening came, he said to them, "Let us go over to the other side." Leaving the crowd, they took him along with them, and in the boat, just as he was, and other boats were with him. And there arose a fierce gale wind, and the waves were breaking over the boat so much that the boat was already filling up. Jesus himself was in the stern, asleep on the cushion. And they woke him and said to him, "Teacher, do you not care that we are perishing?" And he got up and rebuked the wind and said to the sea, "Hush, be still." And the wind died down, and it became perfectly calm. And he said to them, "Why are you afraid? Do you still have no faith?" They became very much afraid and said to one another, "Who is this, that even the winds and the seas will obey him?" So what I see in this scripture, there's two fears. There is fear of the storm. Yeah, you see that? Mm-hmm. Do you see the other fear?
Fear of uncertainty, maybe?
Fear because they just realized that the Son of God was on the boat.
Yeah.
I mean, let's think about this. You have just now seen someone who can calm the storm. And he says, you got to have faith, not in what I just did, but faith in me. So what we can do in times of uncertainty is don't look at the worldly things. Have faith in Jesus, and let's focus on the heavenly future that we're going to have with him.
So, in other words, you should cling to your faith and not a sniper rifle.
That's correct.
Okay.
You might want to keep a sniper rifle,
for hunting purposes.
For hunting purposes. But what it all boils down to is that we're going to go through bad times. But the focus needs to be on faith in Jesus Christ. Hey, look, we may be out there. I think about you and your dad on that small boat you used to have, and you get on the river. I'm like, man, I wouldn't do that. Hey, but bad things can happen. But having faith in what happens after this life here on earth is what matters, and that's what gives me peace. So I just wanted to put that out there, and this week, I know that we will be tempted, maybe even sometimes with uncertainty. And we've just had Connect Group, and we've got these little bands here. And if you do feel that you're failing in your Christian walk, lift your hands up and snap that band. And if you don't have one, slap that hand. Remember, in 10 seconds, you could start all over.
That's right.
And I wanted to invite people this Sunday to church. Join me with some coffee. We have services 10:30.
10:30 Sunday and 5 p.m. on Saturdays.
And we have Connect Group.
Wednesday nights at 6 p.m. There's a meal from 5 to 6.
That's correct. And now we have a special speaker, which is Don Berry.
Don Berry will be leading the Connect Group on the next one. You were made for this moment by, oh gosh, what's
Max Licato.
Max Licato, that's it.
Max Licato here.
And I'll tell you what, if you haven't heard Don Berry speak, this guy's went to college for it. This guy can do a good job at teaching and speaking. I've heard him preach. I've heard him teach.
Great communicator.
He's a great communicator with this. And so I just ask you, maybe we can have him come in and tell us a little bit about next time we do our.
I'm sure he's got a full calendar, but yeah, we'll talk.
Yeah, well, we'll get him in here. It's going to be hard. One of our main goals of this church is to love God, love people, and live like Jesus.
What's our motto? We love people. Yeah. Love God, love people, and live like Jesus.
So I just wanted to thank you guys for joining me this week with Coffee with Bill, and I hope you learned a little bit about something, a little bit about current events, and we'll pick it up next time.